तिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जन शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथामृतं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखावितं च नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिते नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदाय कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरतुषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते तत्कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम राम। हरे कृष्णा। So today we are starting our new series, the holy name, the only Savior. We all chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, but sometimes we have seen that after chanting a few months or few years, there's kind of it slackens. Then enthusiasm sometimes goes down. So then we need to continuously hear the glories of the holy name. That will revive the enthusiasm, the spirit to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Similarly, we are practicing bhakti. We need to hear more and more glories of bhakti. We need to hear the glories of how, when a helpless, conditioned soul surrenders to Krishna, how Krishna protects him. So we need to again and again hear how Krishna is so merciful. So we need to hear these things. Then only we will be able to get that conviction to practice Krishna consciousness. We all are practicing, but after some point of time, sometimes, not sometimes rather, every time Maya will cheat us. She will convince us that beta, you are practicing bhakti, but you're not getting that ananda which these devotees, they promised you that you come, leave Maya behind, come to us, come to Krishna, and what you will get is ananda. But you're not getting that ananda. Maya will tell. See, we will only get ananda to the degree what is our surrender. We will not get ananda which is more than our surrender. So, that is why we need to hear and then get more convinced. Every moment, every day, Krishna is giving us mercy. It's up to us whether we are recognizing that mercy of Krishna or not. Krishna is giving mercy to every one of us. Every day, you do just sit peacefully and see how Krishna is so merciful. Even after this lecture, if you sit and see for today's day, say morning you woke up and till now, like 12, 13, 14 hours. And then you see whether Krishna has given you mercy or not. Every day he is giving mercy. The more we surrender, the more we get mercy. So the sixth canto, now Srimad Bhagavatam talks about 10 subject matters. 10 subject matters. One is creation, Sarga, which is mentioned in third canto. Second canto is summary, and third canto is Krishna is talking about, Shukadeva Goswami is talking about creation, how Krishna created. Then fourth canto talks about uh, secondary creation by Brahma. And then fifth canto talks about the different planetary systems. And sixth canto talks about Poshanam, how Krishna actually nourishes his devotees. That's Poshanam. So that is why, if you remember last time, I said last time also we took Chitraketu Maharaj, which is from the same canto. How Chitraketu Maharaj was nourished, his bhakti was nourished by Krishna, by giving him a son, Harshashoka, and taking him back. So when Krishna takes something back, he's actually giving us more bhakti. You have a plate, or you have a tiffin box, and you're going to school. Suppose you are in class 6th, small kids. You're going to school. Your mother, she has filled the tiffin. So there are 3 sections in the tiffin. So one section is filled with rice. Another section is filled with. No, you don't want to eat rice. Okay. One section is filled with cheese sandwich, veg cheese sandwich. You don't want to take rice? Okay. Cancel the rice. Then second is filled with idli. So you take idli and vada. And the third section is filled with sambar. Obviously, you need sambar with, so you can have sandwich also and idli also and sambar. I don't know whether this combination goes or not. I'm not very expert at that. But suppose you have these 3 things. Now your mother actually realized that she has baked a cake for you. Cake? Wow. Everyone loves cake. Even people with diabetes, they love cake. Nobody, I haven't seen in my life anyone saying no to cake. And that too, if you have beautiful icing, colorful icing, and different flavors, butterscotch, orange, mango, vanilla, strawberry, choco chips, so many flavors. Your mother wants to give cake, but your tiffin is full. So then what your mother will do, you keep eating idli sambar every day, forget about it. She will take back idli, she'll take back sambar, she'll quickly wash it, and she'll fill 2 sections with cake and 1 section with veg cheese sandwich. So which one will you prefer? Will you prefer idli sambar or will you prefer cake? You are in 6th class. How many of you will prefer idli sambar instead of cake? Raise your hands. Nobody? Okay, how many of you will prefer cake over idli sambar? That I don't want idli sambar, give me cake. So everyone wants cake. So when Krishna takes away anything, don't get discouraged. Don't be disheartened. Krishna's preparing something to give you. Sometimes Krishna takes away the things which we possess. Sometimes Krishna takes away the people we have in our life. But if you are sincere, Krishna will give you more. If you are engaged in serving Krishna, Krishna will give you more. Krishna is there to give you. He's taking something to give you better. So this is how Poshanam, this entire canto, wonderful stories. And this is the first story is being discussed in these 3 chapters is about Ajamil. Such wonderful when we hear about Ajamil. Our faith on Krishna's mercy increases. Our faith on holy name increases. Our faith on devotional service increases. So remember, whenever Krishna is taking, he'll give you more. So then, Ajamil, okay. Shukadeva Goswami talks about 5th canto. He talks about 5th canto, and in the 28th chapter of 5th canto, which is the last chapter, there is description of 28 different kinds of hell. There's a hellish planet, but there's 28 different kinds of hell. If you do this, you go there. If you do this, you have read. Sometimes you would have heard about Garud Purana talks about those kinds of hells. So when Shukadeva Goswami is talking about hells, Parikshit Maharaj, who is a pure devotee, he knows he's not going to hell. He knows he's going back to Krishna, but he's scared. He cries. He's shivering. You know why? Not for himself, for us. For foolish people like us who's engaged into sinful activity, and that is why we have to suffer. We are practicing Krishna consciousness. There is absolutely no doubt about it. We will never go to hell. In this, in the 3rd episode, the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd we'll discuss. Yamraj is giving warning to Yamdutas. Anyone who's a devotee of Krishna, who's wearing tilak, who's wearing kantimala, who's paying obeisances to Krishna, who's practicing bhakti, never go to them and bring them to me. Otherwise, you will be beaten up. I will also be beaten up. Forget about bringing them. Never go into their dreams. Should not appear in their dreams also. That is, Yamraj is giving warning to Yamdutas. So when description of hell comes, Parikshit Maharaj is shivering. Because Parikshit Maharaj is concerned about the people who are appearing in, who are about to take birth in Kali Yuga. They'll go to hell. It is only because of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada we are saved. If Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wouldn't have appeared, if Prabhupada wouldn't have come, we would be somewhere rotting in this material world. Now we are saved because of Krishna's mercy. Otherwise, we would have suffered a lot. So then Parikshit Maharaj is shivering. So Shukadeva Goswami understood that Parikshit Maharaj is concerned about other people. So then he says, Parikshit Maharaj is asking, my dear Lord, my dear Guru Maharaj, please tell me, how can anyone, save himself from going to hell? That is the situation. So then Parikshit Maharaj, when he asks questions, Shukadeva Goswami talks about different kind of atonements. But Parikshit Maharaj says, no, these atonements will not help. These atonements are like, like there's a forest. And you burn down entire forest. There's sometimes forest fire. Entire forest is burned down. It's only ground. Nothing else remaining. But when the rains will come, because the roots are there, the trees will again grow. Similarly, people who are engaged in sinful activity, they atone for it. Like people go to Ganga to take bath, Yamuna to take bath. They go to holy places. All their sinful actions are gone. But the factory is there still inside. The tendency to commit sinful activity, the propensity to commit sinful activity is still there. Atonement does not take away that. So then Shukadeva Goswami says, Parikshit Maharaj, you are very intelligent. You are asking a very intelligent question. Yes, by atonement, by paschatap, by prayashchit, you can never clear this factory, which will again entice people to commit sinful activities. Then it's only bhakti to Sri Hari. It is only bhakti to Krishna which can destroy that. An entire heart will be filled with love for Krishna. So then Parikshit Maharaj is asking, is there any incident in the history, in the Puranas, which talk about these kind of examples? Then Shukadeva Goswami, yes, I've heard from the rishis in the Puranas, there's a description. And then he start describing this Ajamil, the Brahmin. So there was a Brahmin in the city of Kanyakubja, which is now Kannauj, near to Kanpur. So there was a Brahmin in this city, very, very nice Brahmin, cultured, good mother and father. They have given training to Ajamil about bhakti, to practice regulative principles, to worship Krishna in the form of Shaligram. And he was married also, Ajamil, to very chaste women, and everything was going fine. When one day Ajamil, on the instructions of his father, went to the forest. Now that time forest, you don't have to go search for forest. You go out of the house, go walk a little bit, and you will find a lot of forest there. From Satyuga, lot of forest. Now it's only concrete forest. So then Ajamil goes to forest to bring some woods so that his father can perform yajna. And Ajamil was a very nice Brahmin with all good qualities. But in his previous life, he had done something because of which he has to suffer this life also. So what happens when Ajamil goes and he's coming back? He saw in the forest, there was a Shudra, a low-class man who was drunk. He was embracing and kissing a low-class woman who was also drunk. And man was not looking at Ajamil. His back was there towards Ajamil. But the prostitute, this low-class woman, actually she was a prostitute. She looked at Ajamil. And her eyes, they contacted the eyes of Ajamil. And Ajamil saw, and then he came back home. See what is happening in today's world. Ajamil saw one such incident, and today everywhere in India you go and billboards are filled with all nonsense, rubbish things. All movies, all videos, all advertisements, everywhere this is going on. Especially they are these all big companies, they are projecting, they are marketing their products by showing half naked or almost naked bodies of women. There's no connection. You see the advertisement of car, you see the advertisement of shaving cream, shaving blade. A man will be using this product, but there's half naked women on the billboards, in the advertisements. Earlier, 20-25 years back, if anyone, any youngsters, you want to see some pornography, it's very hard Very difficult. He has to arrange some old video cassette. He has to hide. Okay, he'll get arranged some VCR used to come, video cassette player. But then there's a television, one television at home. It's in the common room. He cannot see. But now everything is in the mobile. Thanks to technology, now every teenagers are watching, whether male or female, whether girls or boys, they're watching pornography almost every day. So that's why, thanks to technology, who has built this? Internet is so cheap in India, mobile is so cheap. Every child today is crying for the mobile. And now, thanks to Corona, who started this work from home and who started studies from home. So every child has to have a child. Every has to have a mobile phone or an iPad or a computer or a laptop. Child is, his brain is not developed. He cannot discriminate what is good, what is bad. They all get, swayed away with this pornography. And what happens? They, even if you have 2 rooms, even if the child is sleeping in the same room where parents are sleeping, he'll go under the blanket and watch. He'll go with friends and watch. In the daytime, his father is out on work, mother is cooking in kitchen, and they think the child is studying, but he's watching pornography. And all these kids are getting into depression because of that, getting into dirty habits. So every house has Ajamils. Ajamil was a very simple boy. So that is what happened with Ajamil. And then Ajamil came home. Other, mistake which Ajamil did, he didn't tell his father. But my father, I saw something, and it is somehow enticing this lust in me. Even though I'm married, but this lust is coming. I want to enjoy another woman. He didn't tell his father. If he would have told his father would have protected him, preached to him, gave him service to Krishna, gave him more Krishna consciousness, make him chant more rounds of Hare Krishna mantra. That's how today's kids, they don't tell their parents. And they're being swayed away. So then Ajamil, he kept thinking about that woman, that face, those eyes. He couldn't forget. And gradually, in few days, Ajamil, he brought that same prostitute. He went finding out about her. And he found out. He brought same prostitute in the home, telling his parents and his wife that she's a maid. She's looking for some job. So let us give him some shelter. We'll give her some clothes and some food, and she'll stay here and she'll work. Ajamil had different intentions. So then gradually, he was getting more and more connected to this prostitute and more attracted, more and more attached to this prostitute. So because he's staying, association he's taking of prostitute, he got contaminated. When he got contaminated, what he did? He kicked out his father and mother and his wife. He literally threw them out. His father, his mother, his wife. And then finally, Ajamil married this prostitute. Shukdev Goswami says, Ajamil, the husband of a prostitute. I mean, who is the man who wants to be called husband of the prostitute. But he became. That's how the illusory potential of Krishna is so strong. We need continuous association of devotees, without which we'll be in a difficulty. We need continuous association of holy name. We need to chant more, we need to read more, otherwise we are already swayed away. We need to protect ourselves and we need to grow in bhakti. We need association of devotees. That is why Ajamil, he fell down because he did not take association of his father. He would have told his father, my dear father, please protect me. My mind is, going again and again back to this prostitute. But he kicked them out. He married. He had 10 sons with prostitute. 10 sons. And the last son, Ajamil, was 83 years old and his wife was pregnant. 83. See, that is the power of lust. Even a person becomes old, will not leave to enjoy the body of opposite sex, men or women both. Obviously, the prostitute would be 80 also, and she's pregnant. Yeah, those times were different. So then, only bhakti can actually take us away from this lust. When now nobody was the internet, because I'm sitting at a different place today, so please excuse me for the internet. Can't help much. So then Ajamil, because he married a prostitute, definitely he was a Brahmin, and nobody will call such a Brahmin to his house to do some ritual. Will you call a Brahmin who you know about that Brahmin that he's drunkard, he eats meat, he chews tobacco? There are many Brahmins who do that, and he is a prostitute. He's a woman hunter. He's married to prostitute. Will you call such a Brahmin and do rituals in your house? Marriage ritual, or someone takes birth, or some bhumi pujan, or some car pujan. Nowadays people do that. Will you call? No. So nobody was calling him. And nobody is calling, then no money to eat. And this prostitute, low class woman, she's pouncing on Ajamil. You married me, you're married to me, and you don't have money to give me. Why did you marry? Now do anything, you have to do it, but get the money. She was demanding. So then this fellow started taking money from other people with the promise that I will return, but he never returned. He started, looting money. He started robbing people. He started murdering people, killing people for money. Because you need money. Without money, how can you survive? Then eventually, when he was 83 years old, his wife, the prostitute, gave birth to a child, a male child. And the child was not still given a name. So sometime in that area, there were 3-4 Brahmins, Rishi Munis, who were traveling, sannyasis you can say, who were traveling from one place to another. So they asked in the market, is there any house of Brahmin? We can go and eat prasad, because sannyasis will not eat at any other place other than Brahmin's place. So they inquired in the market, is there a house of Brahmin nearby? And some people jokingly, they said, yeah, yeah, Ajamil, the Brahmin, he stays, you can go to his house. And these sannyasis came. The wife opened the door. And sannyasi said that, my dear daughter, or generally they say, my dear mother. So they say, mother. So they, my dear mother, Mataji, we heard that this is a house of a Brahmin and we are sannyasis. So can we get some prasadam? So this prostitute, she said, Maharaj, some people have, you know, told you lies. Actually, even though Ajamel is a Brahmin, but he has married a prostitute and I'm that prostitute. We are living together for more than 50 years. So then these Rishi Munis, they thought, oh, we cannot eat from the house of a prostitute. So Ajamil was eating the food which was cooked by a prostitute, a low class woman, and that is why he was getting more and more contaminated. More and more contaminated. So that is why we should avoid eating food if we do not know who has cooked. That is why we should avoid eating food outside. We should only eat food which is cooked by devotees, offered to Krishna. And then we should eat. It will help us to rise our consciousness. Our consciousness will get uplifted. But Ajamil was eating food cooked by a prostitute, so his consciousness was going down further and further. So that is why these Rishimunis, the sannyasis cannot eat at this house. But in the hands, in the arms of this prostitute, there was a small newborn baby. So these Rishimunis, the sannyasis, they thought, oh, Ajamil was a Brahmin, but he got swayed away because of the lust and he got attracted to this prostitute. So let us save this Ajamil. So it is how Vaishnavas, they come and save people. So they asked that, Mataji, what is the name of this baby? And she said, Maharaj, we have not yet kept the name. We have not yet selected the name. Please give. You have come. No saintly person comes to this house. Somehow by Krishna's arrangement, you have come. So please give him some name. So they named the baby as Narayana. They knew that Ajamil was a devotee of Narayan, but now because of the association of prostitute, he has become a debauchee, murderer, a robber. So let us give the name to his son as Narayan and he will chant the name of Narayan. And because he was the 10th child and a youngest child, so everyone is attracted. His mother, his father. So Ajamil and his wife, they used to call Narayan, Narayan. And Ajamil was so much attached to this baby. He would every time come home, where is Narayan? Where is Narayan? Where is Narayan? And Narayan will sometimes be sleeping, sometimes he would be awake, sometimes he would come to, when he started, walking, he used to come to his father. When Ajamil is eating food, he would say, Narayan, come, sit on my lap and eat food with me. And he will feed him. So he will call Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. So many times, Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. He would all day remember Narayana. And then Narayana, the small baby, started speaking in his broken language. It was so enticing, so pleasant to hear this broken language. And Ajamil's heart was completely captured by this child, Narayan. And when Ajamil was 88 years old, when Narayan was 5 years old. So Ajamil, his time has come. And what he saw is three very fearsome people with horns, with big tooth coming out of their mouth, very dark, blackish complexion, carrying the weapons in his hand and wearing very, the garments and the jewelry was, they were Yamadutas. Very ferocious looking Yamadutas. Our acharyas explain why 3 Yamadutas came. Because we commit sinful activity with our mind, with our body, and with our words. So we have engaged our mind, our body, and our words in sinful activities. So 3 Yamadutas will come for us also. So 3 Yamadutas coming and they are pulling out the soul of Ajamil from his body. And Ajamil is becoming fearful when he saw this fearsome personalities. He was so fearful. He was so scared. He called out for his son, Narayan, Narayan, protect me. Oh, Narayan, please come here. Please come. Look at this. Who have come? Please come and protect me. And he's calling out Narayan. In a very helpless situation, he's calling out Narayan. In a very helpless situation. When Ajamil was calling out his son all these 5 years, he never was expecting anything in return. He was just chanting the names of Lord. And that is why in India, still today, now the culture is getting shifted, but there's a culture that keep the name of the child, give the name to the child which is Krishna's name. Girl child, give Radharani's name. So you call out at least the child, you call out the names of Krishna and Srimati Radharani. So that will protect you. So Ajamil actually was chanting for 5 years the names of Narayan and he was protected. So when these Yamadutas came, he was calling out Narayan, very helplessly he called out Narayan. And suddenly 4 personalities, very beautiful looking personalities with golden helmets and clubs and swords and flower in their hands, all 4-handed personalities, beautiful pitambar dhoti, yellow, the golden dhoti, and a lot of jewelry and bluish complexion. So handsome, so beautiful, these 4 personalities, very pleasant, and with a thunderous sound, they stopped these 3 Yamadutas. Stop! You cannot touch Ajamil. He is now a devotee of our master, Lord Narayan. You cannot touch him. These Yamadutas became fearful. First time Yamadutas are fearful seeing these 4 personalities. So our acharyas explain why 4 personalities came. Because Narayana, 4 akshar or 4 syllables. The name Narayana. He was always chanting, in a time of death, Krishna says, whoever will remember me. Ante Narayana Smritihi. Whoever will remember me, I will protect. And he was remembering helplessly. He was calling out for his son helplessly. But the son's name was Narayan. Some people say, but then he was calling out for his son. He was not calling out for Narayan. Why Narayan has sent his men? Yamadutas will ask the same question. And next week, we'll see amazing discussion between Yamadutas and Vishnudutas. Very beautiful discussion. A lot of philosophy, logic, counter logic. And how they were protected. And then Yamadutas go back to Yamaraj. And they narrate everything to Yamaraj. And what Yamaraj is telling to Yamadutas. Very instructive, these 2 chapters, 2nd and 3rd. So the history of Ajamil we discussed today. The importance of chanting the holy name. We should keep chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We don't know when are we going to die. So let us continuously chant these holy names. Read Bhagavad Gita, read Bhagavatam, hear Bhagavatam, serve devotees, serve the Lord. At any moment, we will die. If we chant the holy name of Krishna, then we will be delivered after this death. Otherwise, again, we have to come to this hellish, horrible material world, which is always giving us pain and miseries. So this is what we learn from this. Always keep chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and Krishna will protect you. And next week we'll see more discussions on what Yamdutas are saying, that they will challenge Narayan Dutas, Vishnu Dutas, and what Vishnu Dutas will give some wonderful logic and glories of holy name, which we'll discuss next week. Hare Krishna. Any question, if anyone has, they can ask. Otherwise, you can read.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for such a wonderful class. It was very inspiring class. I think, Prabhuji, we do not have questions.
Okay, Krishna, you can continue your reading. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.